Today I want to tell you a story. Not a story of aid, not a story of dependency, but a story of African genius. A story that proves, beyond doubt, that we do not need to wait for the West to solve our problems. This is the story of Elly Savatia, a young man from Western Kenya who saw a challenge in his community and decided, I will be the solution. And in his journey, there is a message for you, for me, for all of Africa. In the bustling heart of Western Kenya, a young visionary named Elly Savatia saw a problem most people overlooked. In classrooms across the region, deaf and hard-of-hearing students sat in silence, cut off from lessons, not because they lacked the will to learn, but because there were too few sign language interpreters. Communication was a barrier, and that barrier was stealing futures. Elly's work quickly attracted global attention. He became a Mandela Washington Fellow, won the Commonwealth Secretary General's Innovation for Sustainable Development Award, and received recognition from the UNICEF Generation Unlimited Innovation Challenge. His innovation has now been selected for the Google.org Generative AI Accelerator, proving that African ingenuity can stand shoulder to shoulder with the best in the world. But Elly's story is not just about technology, it's about vision. The belief that Africa's challenges can and should be solved by Africans themselves. Who is Elly Savatia? Elly Savatia is a Kenyan-born innovator, tech optimist, and social entrepreneur making waves in assistive technology. In his mid-20s, he is best known as the founder and CEO of Signvrse, an AI-driven platform using hyper-realistic 3D avatars to translate speech and text into sign language in real time. And the world noticed? Winner of the Commonwealth Secretary General's Innovation for Sustainable Development Award. Selected as a Mandela Washington Fellow in 2024, award recipient at the UNICEF Generation Unlimited Innovation Challenge, recognized as a global teen leader and a World Bank Drone Scholar, among other honors. Recently, Elly's startup, Signvrse, was selected for the prestigious Google.org Generative AI Accelerator, reflecting his growing leadership in AI-powered assistive tech. Originally born from Savatia's experience in Western Kenya, where he noticed limited interpreter availability in classrooms, Signvrse bridges the accessibility gap in sectors like education, healthcare, and employment. Elly could have walked away, blaming the system. Instead, he decided to become the solution. He founded Signvrse, a revolutionary AI-powered platform that uses lifelike 3D avatars to translate speech and text into sign language instantly. With Signvrse, a teacher's words can now flow into the hands of a deaf student in real time. A doctor can explain a diagnosis without the awkward gap of finding an interpreter. A job interview no longer has to be lost in translation. A mirror for Africa's youth. Across the continent, millions of young Africans face the same choice Elly once did: to accept the problems they see as unchangeable, or to rise and create solutions. For too long, Africa has been portrayed as dependent, waiting for aid, grants, and solutions from the West. But Elly's journey shouts a different truth. We have the talent, the creativity, and the courage to build our own future. Can inspirational youth change Africa's narrative? The answer is yes, but only if we choose unity and investment in our own people. Every imported solution is a reminder of dependency, while every African-made innovation is a brick laid in the road to sovereignty. Think of innovators like Kabelo Mabusela from South Africa, building affordable water filtration systems. Oluwaseun Ayodeji Osowobi from Nigeria, creating health advocacy tools that save lives. Farida Bedway from Ghana, developing software for inclusive banking. These are not just success stories. They are proof points that Africa can break the chains of dependence. Our challenge is not a lack of brilliance. It is a lack of belief in ourselves. Western nations will always protect their own interests. They will not build Africa for us. But when Africa's youth rise, armed with knowledge, culture, and technology, we become the authors of our own destiny. Imagine a continent where the Elly Savatias of Africa are not exceptions, but the norm. Imagine governments that prioritize local innovation over foreign contracts. Imagine an Africa whose narrative shifts from the needy continent to the continent of solutions. A call to Africa's youth. If Elly's journey teaches us anything, it is this. Start where you are with what you have and for the people around you. Your solution may seem small now, but Africa's liberation has always been built on the courage of individuals who refuse to accept limitations. Africa does not lack resources. Africa does not lack brilliance. Africa lacks the united will to believe in and fund its own people. The youth must rise, not just as dreamers, but as doers, disruptors, and builders of an Africa that stands tall without leaning on the West. The future will not be handed to us. We must code it, build it, farm it, and defend it ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, our children will read about this generation the way we read about Nkrumah, Lumumba, Sankara, and Sobukwe, as the generation that turned the tide. Elly noticed something. In classrooms, deaf and hard-of-hearing students were being left behind. Not because they couldn't learn, not because they didn't want to learn, but because there were not enough sign language interpreters. Now, many of us would shake our heads, maybe blame the government and move on, but Elly was different. He created Signvrse, an AI-powered platform that uses 3D avatars to translate speech and text into sign language instantly. Think about that. A teacher speaks, and in real time, a deaf student sees the message in their own language. A doctor explains, and no life-changing information is lost. This is African brilliance in action. Elly didn't wait for permission from the West. He didn't wait for foreign aid. He looked around, saw a problem, and built a solution with his own hands, mind, and heart. This is what self-reliance looks like. This is the Africa Kwame Nkrumah dreamed of, the Africa Thomas Sankara spoke about, the Africa we must fight for. For too long, Africa has been painted as helpless, waiting for the IMF, the World Bank, or some NGO to come and save us. But every time we depend on them, we give away a piece of our freedom. Elly Savatia became a Mandela Washington Fellow. He won the Commonwealth Secretary General's Award for Innovation. His project caught the attention of Google.org, Generative AI Accelerator. Elly's story says, enough. We can solve our own problems. We have the brains, we have the courage, we have the vision, and most importantly, we have each other. To my African brothers and sisters in Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, everywhere, I ask you, what problem do you see around you? What can you build, create, invent, or organize to solve it? The youth of Africa are not just the future, we are the present. The time to rise is now. We cannot keep exporting our talent and importing solutions. We cannot keep begging for what we already have in our own hands. We must become the makers of Africa's destiny. Elly Savatia's name should be shouted in every African classroom as proof that we can do it. His story is not just about innovation, it's about liberation. Because economic freedom starts when we stop depending on the West to think for us, build for us, or feed us. Elly Savatia personifies the promise of African innovation. Driven by personal observation and empathy, he used cutting-edge technology to promote inclusive communication. Through Signvrse, he isn't only solving real-world accessibility challenges, he is championing a future where every voice, heard or silent, is honored. So, to every African youth listening to me right now, let Elly's journey light a fire in your spirit. Build something, solve something, change something. And when you do, you are not just helping yourself, you are rewriting the African story. If you believe in African solutions for African problems, if you believe in the power of our own minds and hands, then I need you to support this message. Like this video so it spreads. Share it with every African youth you know. And most importantly, subscribe to Simply African React, where we speak the truth about Africa unapologetically, powerfully, and without Western filters. The time for dependence is over. The time for African self-reliance is here. This is our time. Let's rise together.